Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing your monthly March 2020 monthly horoscopes. I hope that you are all doing fabulous this weekend, and I have some major announcements. For those of you that have not taken a look at my community tab page, go ahead and take a look at that. But I am hosting my first ever event. I mean, face to face. This is not online at all. It is located in San Antonio, Texas, and the venue will be the Menger Hotel, and it will be on May 26th, which is my birthday, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So this is like the day after Labor Day, and I do hope that a lot of you are coming to this event to meet me, to celebrate my birthday. There will be an hour lecture, and then there will be a meet and greet as well, and also I'll be doing live readings for the audience that is coming out. So it's a very big deal for me, and I am just so grateful to all of you, all of my rays of light out there, and hope that you can make the event. So I'm going to get into the horoscopes for Aries. So Aries, for this month of March, it seems like there's a lot on your mind. Something has your attention kind of pulled away from what you normally would be working on or whatever you would be doing. It almost feels like you are kind of feeling trapped in some ways, almost like you have to think out and plan out something that you want to do. Now, for a lot of you out there, this could be like planning your exit strategy from a rough relationship, or even leaving a job behind, to start something new. But you are well on your way. I also feel like this is going to be a month where you could feel a little confused at times, because again, there's just so many things going on in the world right now, and then you feel like you are successful and you can move forward, but again, there's like this feeling of kind of being confused. But that's going to dissipate as we progress in the month. You're going to notice some people this month being distant, some friendships, people that you care about. Could be family members, could even be a partner. There is going to be some distance that's being created. The distance is needed because I feel like right now, a lot of you, this may not apply to every single one of you Aries out there, but for a lot of you, you could have felt over the last couple of months, especially in February, some toxicity on some level. And sometimes when you draw apart or give someone distance, it is a good thing. It's not always a bad thing. But you kind of are going to be seeing other people and feeling like their judgment is kind of clouded by their actions and the things that they're doing. You would never do that. You would never lower yourself to that. And it's almost like you're looking at somebody else's situation and you're like, I would never put myself in that. And that's the energy that I see this month of March for a lot of you Aries. But with all of this month, when the month is said and done and it's wrapped up, I do get that a lot of you are going to be very knowledgeable. You're going to feel very powerful, very much aware. There's going to be a certain level of awareness and clarity that you haven't been feeling for quite some time. So this is going to be definitely a month of some ups, some downs, but like I say, peaks and valleys. But you're going to be coming out of this with more awareness and feeling more assertive going into the month of April. So this is the horoscope for the sign of Aries. Taurus, for this month of Taurus, for the month of March 2020, I am getting that this month it's going to be about you kind of having some new ideas. There's some new energy surrounding you. You're going to be in work mode through the month of March, but I also feel like your intuition is speaking to you. You're operating between the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension of state of consciousness. So you are connecting to your astral self, to your soul, to the higher realms. There's a lot of downloads of information. In some way, I feel like also you're seeking some balance in your life, because you could be feeling like right now, you're doing a little bit too much for a lot of people. A lot of people, maybe it's your work schedule that's going to drive you a little crazy. But you may also be feeling like, you haven't had a break in quite some time, even through the holidays. You probably worked through those holidays and just had a few, days off. But you're going to be feeling the energy a little bit more intense. This is going to be a month where your moods could fluctuate. I'm going to be keeping it real and keeping it honest. If you're a Taurus out there, hear me out when I say that you could lose your temper and go off on someone this month. This is not a month for people to play with Taurus, because I just get that, you're going to be kind of like looking at people and you could go off on them. I also feel like you are kind of embodying your spirituality on a deeper level. So a lot of you are going to be looking into paths of healing, shamanism, dealing with, ayahuasca or those other kind of, ceremonies, Native American beliefs and things like that, and delving into that with your, and meshing that into the world of the paranormal or spiritual. There's going to be a lot of your third eye having pulses, like pulsating, and having visions. A lot of you are going to be having your clairvoyance opening up this particular month. A lot of you are going to also feel kind of like some of your childhood memories or your childhood tendencies. If you had especially like bullying in your past, not past life, but in your past as a child, as an adult or a young adult right now listening to this, I feel like a lot of those things can resurface. Either it's somebody that treats you a certain way, or you see it through maybe your children. If you have children, they're going through that right now themselves. And it's going to kind of put you in a very protective mode, but you're not going to tolerate any kind of foolery either. I also feel like a lot of you are not going to be very open this month to other people regarding your plans, your thinking. You're going to be keeping a lot of things to yourself. So it's almost like you're kind of secretive, kind of elusive in some ways, where people could find you kind of like, well, what is she really thinking? Or what is he really thinking? What is going on here? But at the end of the month, I feel like at the end of the month, close to the last week or the last week and a half of the month of March, a lot of you are going to be more expressive. You're going to be reopening communication. Now, keep in mind that I believe it's until middle of March or March 10th, that the Mercury retrograde ends. So even after the Mercury retrograde ends, we still have like the last 2 weeks is like the shadow of it as well, where the Mercury retrograde kind of the lingering effects. So it's going to slowly trickle off, but you're still going to feel a lot of that. And it's going to cause you to feel distressed, kind of feel a little desperate in some ways, maybe anxious. I think that's a better word than desperate. Feeling very anxious, and you're going to be looking for some clarity. You may reach out to a mentor. You may reach out to a psychic to get some insight. A lot of you could be reaching for your own tarot cards, your own oracle cards. So, this is going to be a month where I feel like you'll kind of be laying on the low, but still working and doing your thing. But it's going to be a touch and go situation. You're going to feel a little moody. You're going to go through the gigs, a little bit. And then at the end of the month, you're going to start seeing some of this kind of relaxing. You're going to feel a little bit more, a little less tense, more relaxed, and feel like you have some hope that there is something else that's going on. But this month overall feels kind of stagnated if you're a Taurus for whatever reason. That's what I'm getting from Spirit. So this is the horoscope for the sign of Taurus. Gemini, if you are a Gemini for the month of March of 2020, I see a lot of big changes happening for you in the month of March, Gemini. Now, for the month of March, you're going to be feeling this big, intense energy pulling you in different directions. It's going to feel very chaotic. For Geminis, this is not a good thing because we feel very frazzled. I'm a Gemini myself, and I always talk about that in my horoscopes. So this even applies to me. I'm like reading my own self right now. But it is going to feel very chaotic for many of us. I feel like you're going to feel kind of frazzled at the beginning of the month. You're going to feel like, you have to put so much effort. It's almost like, how do I describe it? People are on different wavelengths, and our minds operate very quickly, and when we get things done, we expect others to kind of be at our pace, and if they're not, if they're slow and they're making us wait, it pisses us off, really, because it's not that we're trying to be bitchy about it, but we're wanting things done and people to kind of be in a timely manner with us, because again, we can multitask and do all that yada yada yada. I'm not going to go into it, but if you're a Gemini and you're listening to your horoscope, trust me, you understand. But I do get that it kind of feels almost like there is a power struggle as well later this month with someone in your life. This could be a partner, a parental figure. There is some kind of communication that's going to be coming in. It's going to feel kind of like there's a dominant male energy, and they want their way. And if you are a female or a divine feminine out there, a lot of you are going to be feeling kind of like, this doesn't set well with me. This person is being distant. They're being evasive. They're creating the distance for some reason. So expect some of your friendships, but don't take it personally. Again, we are in the middle of retrograde in the month of March. It doesn't end till like March 10th. But like I've said before, the retrograde, even though it ends for the next 2 weeks, which is practically the rest of the month of March, there will be lingering effects from that. So if you find that there are some people that are distant, don't take it out on them. Don't call them out. Don't feel like, they're doing it to hurt you or because they no longer vibe with you. Everybody's going through their own personal battles, and the faster that you can understand that, the easier this month will be for you, Gemini, okay? I also feel like there is some heartbreak potentially for some of you Geminis out there that are in a relationship or that are looking for a relationship, and there is this sense like either there's a problem, or you feel heartbroken or disillusioned that, perhaps you had some expectations on a partner and they fell through, and they're not everything that you thought that they would be. Maybe they're showing you a new side of themselves that you haven't seen before. So there's some heartbreak for some of you out there, but you're going to get through it. Stay in your authenticity if you're a Gemini for the month of March. Don't let people sway you into kind of following the trends. You are a leader. You don't need to follow in anybody's footsteps but your own. I feel like you're going to be very dedicated to a work project. Could be to your home if you're a housewife. If you are working from home, you could be dedicated on a project that you're working on if you're working remotely. And if you're working out somewhere else, in a business place, you could have a manager or somebody else that's above you that is giving you some kind of project that you would need to work on. You just need to keep seeing it through, because I see a lot of frustration for this month of March for Geminis in general, where we could easily become discouraged and want to just throw our hands up in the air and walk away from a job, walk away from something. But we're not quitters, okay? So that even goes for me. You cannot quit something just because it's very difficult. You have to face your fears. You have to face the issues that are going to be coming up in the month of March. And again, the partner situation keeps coming up. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of power struggles, a lot of deep feelings that are going to have you feeling kind of vulnerable, and it's kind of like ill. A lot of you like, ew, I don't want to cry. I don't want to be emotionally vulnerable. But for some reason, you have these bouts, in maybe in the privacy of your own space where you're just bawling your eyes out and you don't know why. Or if you do know why, you're like, I cannot believe I let myself get to this point. It's so disgusting. And it's not. I think a lot of people have been socially conditioned to not accept who they are and accept their emotions and work through them. You cannot ignore what you feel and bottle that up inside like some people do, because that's not going to be healthy for anyone, not even for yourself, Gemini. So need to work through those issues, accept it, don't resist. If you feel like the urge to cry, the urge to scream, the urge to go for a ride out, get out of your home, somebody pisses you off, just do it. But at the end of the day, this month I feel like it's going to kind of make you stronger and make you see for your own self how much you've grown since 2020 has begun. So this is a horoscope for the sign of Gemini. Cancer, if you are a Cancer sign out there for the month of March, this is going to be a month in which you kind of are uncovering and unearthing parts of yourself that you have kind of suppressed or may have been hidden that you didn't know. It's a very spiritual month for you. When I say spiritual, I mean that you're going to be very awakened. You may be having a lot of astral traveling or lucid dreams that stand out, that feel very vivid, almost like you were there in the moment. You could also experience some deja vu this month if you're a Cancerian. I also feel like you are noticing that you're going through some changes. Maybe you no longer feel like the job that you're in is bringing you happiness, or people in your family are not bringing you happiness. And a lot of you are going to pull away from that. It's almost like you're shape-shifting in some ways. And I don't mean like a shapeshifter, but I mean that like transforming spiritually. And it's going to be very apparent on the outside, and by your demeanor, by the way that you treat people. It's almost like a lot of you Cancerians this month are going to be very short. You still keep that sweet side of yourself, but you're going to be very short with some people that get on your nerves, and you're not going to be afraid to let them know that, because again, it's almost like you're moving away from all of this and you're entering a new cycle. There is something new that you have a lot of thoughts on your mind, a lot of mental energy that will be expended and will be used this month to start planning things. I feel like a lot of you are planning to travel or planning to eventually have some kind of fun, because I feel like a lot of you have been riddled with a lot of responsibilities over the last couple of months. A lot of you have had, a lot of drama, maybe from an ex, or you thinking about an ex partner. In fact, I feel like this is going to be a potential month for a lot of you Cancerians that are single to possibly meet someone. There is some chemistry between you and someone else, and I feel like this again is going to require patience. I feel like a lot of you Cancerians that are single looking could potentially be kind of like wanting to take it very fast, take a relationship very fast, or fall deeply in love with someone, or with their with what you see very quickly. And Spirit is telling you caution, that there's caution there, that you need to slow things down, take it down a notch, and just relax a little bit, relax and see where things go. Don't set yourself up for failure. Don't set unrealistic expectations if you don't want to be hurt, because again, you are not naive, you're not a little child going into these relationships. There is going to be some confusion later this month with some decision making in your job. There could be some schedule changes for people who work a certain shift, and maybe you're wanting to work a different shift. There's some confusion there, and some concern as well around your money. I feel like a lot of you could have some unexpected expenses, possibly a vehicle broken, washing machine goes out. I'm just giving examples of things that could happen, but there's some like unexpected expenses that come up around Cancerians for the month of March. And there is this sense that you kind of already feel this or know that this is happening, because this month is a month where, a lot of you are going to have your third eye very open, just like a lot of the other signs that I'm reading right now in these March monthly horoscopes. So this is the horoscope for the sign of Cancer. Leo, if you are a Leo out there, this month is a month in which someone has you very intrigued. You could feel spellbound to someone that you find very attractive if you're single. And if you're not single, some of you out there have a wandering eye and you could find someone just attractive. Knowing your boundaries is going to be so amazing for you and will avoid so much trauma and so much drama in your life if you know your boundaries and you are establishing those boundaries. Be careful this month if you are a Leo with your flirtation. Some of you can be very chivalrous. A lot of you can be, if you're male, you would be chivalrous. If you're not, you're female, you could be very flirtatious. Be very careful with that, because some people do not understand that you could be just that's your nature. You're very, kind, and you're just very gregarious. But some people could easily mistaken that as a flirtation. So I feel like a lot of you will have like a mysterious air about you this month. There's a lot on your mind, a lot of things that you're holding on to specifically in the month of March, a lot of worries that you're holding on to, anxiety. It could be a lot of mental health that you're dealing with, mental health issues this month of March. And when I talk about somebody being, that's, has those issues, mental issues, I don't mean that you're crazy. But it's for anybody. We all have mental issues at a certain point. And when I talk about mental issues, I'm talking about and referring to anxiety, to fears that come to the surface. That's a lot of mental energy that is being wasted on illusions and things that perhaps that a lot of you have, about a person or a place or a situation, hoping that it changes, but you're so fixated on that you're not focusing on other areas of your life and the people around you that need your help or that need your love and attention. So it's almost like the last couple of months, a lot of you Leos have been kind of pulling away from certain people, pulling away from conversations, not opening up specifically on how you feel, being very honest. There's been this sense of kind of keeping things to yourself, keeping them bottled up. And mentally and spiritually, that's not a good thing. So, a lot of you are going to be planning maybe some trips, spending time with your children. There's a lot of with spring break coming up, there's a lot of thoughts on that. I feel like there's some desires that you have. A lot of you that are single are very much desiring to have someone to make you happy, but a lot of you could be filling up a void if you found someone, but it's not necessarily going to make you happy because you found someone and you feel like that's complete. There's still something lacking, and it's when we focus on what we actually have and those blessings, we don't focus on what we're lacking. And so I see a lot of you are going to be kind of entering a period where you're going to be very ambitious, specifically on your careers, your work life. You're going to be thinking of ways to kind of earn more income and move away from the past. I feel like a lot of you are done with a job or are feeling kind of like the job is very redundant and it's not really bringing any change. There's no change. There's no room for improvement or excelling, but you feel kind of like financially you need to stay there because maybe it does pay a certain amount of money. But again, I see a lot of you moving away from that this month. There will be a lot of you starting new jobs, giving your 2 weeks notice in to your old job. And Spirit is saying that you have everything that it takes to be successful in your career. But it's just a matter of pushing past these mental blocks that you're feeling, these illusions that are kind of blinding you and keeping you feeling like you're at a standstill in your life, when really and truly these, again, are just self-created fears. So that's the horoscope for the sign of Leo. Virgo, if you are a Virgo out there for the month of March, I feel like a lot of you are feeling spiritually awoken. A lot of you are feeling and embracing your divine God, your inner divine goddess, and you're feeling kind of like there's certain people on the outside that may be judging you, treating you a certain way because your beliefs challenge their lives or the way that they, comport themselves or carry themselves. And you need to continue just to be yourself and not, give any care to what other people think about you or what they're saying, because I feel like you're going through a situation right now where you are feeling kind of trapped in in your life, trapped in a relationship. If you are a Virgo out there, and Spirit is telling you that you can actually move out of this because it's all, again, in your mind. The traps are fears that you feel, and you need to push through with them, because when you start raising your vibration and you are being strong, you can pull through that. And again, I feel like this is around your love life. So for Virgos, it's going to be interesting because the month of March, I feel like there's just so much revolving around your love life in particular. No other area except for your love life. But when we factor in your love life, there are other things like emotional fulfillment, your finances, even if it's just like a romantic situation, and if it's not, the love that you have for everything, the self-love for yourself, the love that you have for your job. There's this theme again around love for the month of March, and anything that is not of a vibration of love, you're going to be moving away from it because it no longer serves your greater purpose here. And again, when it comes into your work life this month, it's all about security. So those of you that are getting your tax refunds or have already got them or will be getting them in March, a lot of you will be holding very tightly to that money because again, I feel like you are not someone that just spends money frivolously. Some of you may have some tendencies and be a shopaholic, but for the most part, I feel like a lot of you are very conservative when it comes to your money and your decisions. I also feel like a part of you is very shy, which I know don't typically say that about Virgos because I feel like Virgos are very outgoing and very talkative at times. When they get to know a person, they can open up, but I do feel like there's some shyness. So the way this is coming across is that if you're single, you could meet this hot guy or hot woman that you're very interested in, that you find very attractive, and there's this muy caliente type of feeling, this vibe that has you kind of feeling like oh my God, I'm kind of like you're blushing or you're very flustered in a certain way, and it's not like you to be like that, but you could be kind of giddy and acting kind of like like if you were a teenager again in your life. And it's funny, but that's the energy that I'm picking up and feeling. Again, this may not apply to every single Virgo out there listening. I also feel like a lot of you are having more pull towards your spirituality, trusting your intuition, and making the best decisions this month overall. So nothing that you do is wrong. It's not going to be a wrong decision that you're making this month. At the end of the month, I want to say the last week and a half or the last 2 weeks of the month, there's some worries. Something has you very worried. I feel like it could be someone else that's struggling with money in your family. If you have a larger family, it could be like you and your partner. Maybe your partner is now out of work and unemployed, and all that weight is following on your shoulders. So I don't know, but there's some kind of weird situation that feels very complex that comes up around the end of the month, and it is around money, but I don't feel like it's pertaining to you specifically. It could be someone else, that maybe even a friend coming to you and saying, Jill, I have all these problems that are going on in my life, and can I borrow some money from you? But you're also struggling with your own fixed income, and so if you're on that, you don't have to make sacrifices for other people just because they are friends. It would be nice if you could afford to do so, but you need to speak from your authenticity and let them know, maybe I can't help you financially, but there's another way that I can help you. To kind of, be there for them. And if they cannot see that, then they're not an authentic friend. There are people that are very selfish in this world. And again, I feel like this end of the month is going to be very revealing for a lot of you Virgos out there, where you may be seeing some true colors, like Cyndi Lauper's song said, the true colors. We will be seeing people's true colors if you're a Virgo. So this is the horoscope for the month of March for my Virgos out there. Libra, if you're a Libra out there for the month of March, you are looking at a lot of focus on your money. You're looking very focused on what you have right now, your money. A lot of you are very conservative. You don't want to spend, but you also know that you have some things that are coming up, whether it's for your work or for a side business, a hustle. You have to spend money in some way. A lot of you are going, if you're a Libra for the month of March, a lot of you Librans out there are feeling kind of like you're being kind of like, I want to say almost like you're having to make a sacrifice right now. Whether it's like choosing between your career or your family, choosing between your career or something else in your life, a relationship. There is some kind of like blocks, and it feels very painful in some ways on an emotional level. Now, while you may not let your friends that are close to you know this, it can be felt, and it's going to reverberate through the atmosphere. A lot of people that are very close to you or that would know you may see you out there, in public, or talk to you, through the phone or FaceTime, and they're going to start feeling that energy. And there is like this feeling, like I feel like a lot of you are feeling like mentally not okay, and there's a lot of stress factors that are getting to you. but you are very ambitious. You want to succeed, and you have a lot of power in yourself that is going to emerge through the month of March. So I feel like it's a matter of controlling a lot of your emotions and what you feel, and allowing that to help you grow, and kind of start working on those projects or things that you've been procrastinating, or that you felt like you couldn't pick up and touch again. Because some of you may have lost like passion on a job, or your hobbies. You go home and you're feeling exhausted, or if you work out of your house, you feel kind of like there's just not enough activity, and it's going to lead you to kind of wanting to step outside, reconnect with nature, go out shopping, do a trip, do something. This is going to be a period where you're going to start feeling rejuvenated. I think a lot of you may do some spa treatments. You may do your own facial at home, a pedicure. There's going to be something about you really just purchasing, something and making yourself feel good. A lot of self-love here. But at the end of the month, there is this feeling again that resurfaces, where, like I said, it was it was in the very beginning of the month, where you could potentially feel kind of like trapped again, feeling like things are not necessarily, like there are some setbacks that are happening in your life. But I feel like, again, this is all going to depend on yourself. You have that willpower to pull yourself out of it. And a lot of you want to kind of stay more at home. You want to be more of the hermit. Spirit is saying for you to push past that, not stay in the same routines and the same things because it's comfortable to you. It's almost like the message that Spirit is saying and is coming across is that a lot of you have become very comfortable in your lifestyle, have become very comfortable in your life, and that is not promoting any kind of growth. It's what scares you the most that's going to lead you to growing and actually expanding and feeling like you've accomplished a lot, which in general, I know that a lot of you, it's almost like I'm preaching to the choir. A lot of you already know that you've accomplished. A lot of you know that you have these, achievements that you have done, whether it's staying at a job and having tenure, or, a passion project that you've been doing, or, just raising your children well. I think you're a little too hard on yourself and too critical, at times of your own self. And Spirit is saying to do a little bit less of that criticism or critiquing yourself, and instead loving yourself, loving your body, loving your image, loving yourself wholeheartedly, so that way you can love others. I feel like a lot of you on some level could be feeling a tinge of jealousy against another person. It's like a lot of us of these signs in the zodiac, we can feel jealousy, and that's okay. It's human nature to feel it. But remember, you are standing in your own lane. You are a magnificent creature out there, and you don't need to be jealous of somebody else because they are doing their thing. There's enough space in the world for everyone. And I know that's kind of harsh for me to say this in the horoscope, but that is what's coming across for a lot of Libras out there. So this is the horoscope for the sign of Libra. All right, if you're the sign of Scorpio, this is what I'm getting for Scorpio for this month. A lot of focus on your money, a lot of focus on your hard work, your career. A lot of you are kind of now, basking in your accomplishments. A lot of you are very curious about what other people are doing, and you're going to be kind of researching. I feel like the month of March for Scorpios is going to be about researching a project, researching some material that could help you in your career, in your studies, maybe even something like if you're an entrepreneur or trying to open up your own business, you're kind of like brushing up on the things that are very much needed. I also feel like a lot of you are questioning something about, where your life is right now. And a lot of you know that it's moving forward, but perhaps it's not moving at the pace that you want it to. And a lot of you are going to try to do whatever you can to kind of accelerate things, and that's really good. I also feel like this month, it's kind of like you could be very much oppressive at times to another person, even though you may not see it. You need to be very careful this month if you're a Scorpio on how you treat other people, because not everyone shares your opinion. Not everyone shares how you see things, your viewpoints. And so you could be kind of trying to force your will upon someone, and it's not going to set well with another person. I see a lot of conflict, and I feel like you at the end of the day could be hurt, even though you are one of the most powerful and strongest signs in the zodiac. You still are human nature, and you're going to be very pissed off at someone because, again, y'all are not seeing eye to eye. But in a lot of cases, it's like you started it, and it's so childish. Like, I feel like there's this very immature energy that follows some of you Scorpios this month of March. And Spirit is saying for you to pick and choose your battles wisely. You don't need to lower yourself. You don't need to, kind of be vindictive. Even though it is in your nature, you can fight and suppress those negative traits that you don't need to partake in. But some of you may find some joy in saying something to someone, making a comment that kind of gets into their inner psyche and kind of hurts them and stings on some level. It's like a Scorpio inflicting their tail on someone and causing them some very unpleasant pain. And I feel like a lot of that is ending. A lot of that you realize is kind of like a damaged part of yourself that needs healing. So I feel like a lot of this month is going to be very tricky for a lot of you Scorpios. A lot of you could be using some Reiki or needing Reiki in your life to kind of heal what you're feeling, because if you're not feeling good, you're going to just take it out on someone, and it may not be their fault, and you need to catch yourself if you're doing that, because again, that can create and open up bigger can of worms for yourself that you don't need. At the end of the month, again, I feel like you're ending a cycle. Things like your energy is going to be more calmer. It's going to be more, you're going to be more easygoing and more carefree. But throughout the month, the beginning of the month up until like the end of the month, I feel like a lot of you are going to be very like raw, kind of like on edge, and feel kind of like you need to be very defensive. And Spirit is saying you need to like let your defenses go. You don't need to like fight. It's not going to do you any good. That's a low vibration. So that is for the horoscope for the month of March for Scorpio. Sagittarius. If you're a Sagittarius for the month of March, I feel like a lot of you are going to be, somebody's mentor. You're going to be helping other people work through their problems. You're very much the diplomatic person. You come also from a very spiritual background in nature. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be kind of consoling someone that's going through a difficult time. At the same time, I feel like there's a lot of fulfillment for you through the month of March. This is going to be an easier month if you're a Sagittarius. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities coming to your door. This could be promotions, new jobs, new projects. If you're an actor and actress out there, maybe a new audition, a new opportunity. Or if you are an entrepreneur, like a filmmaker, producer, pitching, your project, you actually could be heard and it could be seen. And somebody may want to see more of what you can do. If you're in any of that, if you're not in the entertainment industry at all and you're just like working a regular job, it could be your boss is very intrigued and they want to see and give, so they'll give you more duties to do, more responsibilities, and not necessarily immediately with more pay, but they are wanting to know how much you can handle, and they're very intrigued by it because you're so good at what you do. For you, that could feel like you're on an overload. So it's going to be very essential for you to be very communicative this month and express yourself wholeheartedly and set proper boundaries, because some people will be just giving you every kind of thing and to do, and you could feel very drained and feeling almost like you're used by someone. So be sure to set those boundaries. There is someone in your life going through some turmoil, and some of that's going to kind of backlash or kind of rub off on you, and it could make you feel like kind of chaotic and analyze some of your life, and you start questioning things, and it's almost like you're being paranoid, almost like things that somebody else is experiencing. If you're an empath out there and you're a Sagittarian, you could be kind of picking up on that and absorbing that into your own energy, and it's going to have you feeling very chaotic at times with your own emotions and your expressions. This is a time right now to kind of just know that things are changing for the better. You are going to be seeing a lot if you're single out there. This is a potential month to meet someone. There is a lot of chemistry that is formulated between you and someone else. This could be just a friendship, but with room to grow for more down the road. The thing is to take it very slow. A lot of communication. There could be some trips going on. I also feel like with the full moon in March, there's going to be an intense surge of energy for a lot of you out there that are Sagittarians. So this is a very good month overall. I don't feel like it's a very negative month, but you just have to be careful and not holding space for someone for too long and realizing when it's time to let go. And that's the horoscope for my Sagittarians for the month of March. Capricorn, if you're a Capricorn for the month of March, I feel like a lot of you are very focused on your love life with the partner, especially if you're in a relationship. There's a lot of good feelings that are being exchanged. I feel like you're going to be picking on someone, maybe your partner. And when I mean picking, I mean like maybe picking on their mind, kind of like tapping into their mind, wanting to know where their thoughts are with you. If they are on the same wavelength as with you in the relationship, what can you do to improve communication, to spice things up, to make sure that that there isn't this period of being bored of one another. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of spending time together, having fun conversations, potentially even, spending time and visiting each other's family, going shopping, just a lot of that. And it's going to be like a self-realization for a lot of you Capricorns that you are with the right person. And if for a lot of you that are single, you could be kind of desiring to be with someone on some level. And this is going to be a month where you could actually meet someone as well. But overall, y'all are workaholics. I don't even have to tell you that. There is a lot of focus on your financial security, and you are willing to network and branch out this month. It could be mistaken as being flirtatious because that is your nature, to be very kind to someone. So again, someone may develop feelings for you, and if you're in a committed relationship, just got to be very careful with that, because again, it could develop into someone that is sending you text messages at 2 a.m. and you haven't told them that you are in a relationship, etc. Setting proper boundaries and expectations from the get-go is very necessary, especially if you're very intuitive, like a lot of you Capricorns are, and you may feel like somebody is, getting too attached, or they are developing feelings for you that are not requited, or they're not corresponded to. On some level, I feel like also you're feeling kind of maybe judged. If you work for someone, you're not feeling the vibe anymore. You're not feeling good about it, and you're needing to get out of that situation. So doors are opening up for a lot of you that are Capricorns in the work area in your career. I do feel like there is some contentment that's coming later in the month of March. This could be a new job, or even if you're a business owner or someone that is that has assets, you could see a return on your profit this month in particular. You are going through like a physical transformation, and again, a period of where you're going to be letting go of friendships and people that are no longer viable to your livelihood, to your well-being, and it's okay to purge these energies. You're a very disciplined individual. For those of you that are Capricorns, I feel like a lot of you are very disciplined. You have your own, way of looking at yourself and kind of beating yourself up harder than other people. Be a little kinder to yourself this month of March, and don't be very critical of yourself, because we all make mistakes, but ultimately we learn and we grow from them. So again, if anything has you feeling like you are beating yourself up, it's just temporary. This is the horoscope for my Capricorns for the month of March. Aquarius, for the month of March, Aquarius, a lot of you are kind of feeling like you're needing to take a leap of faith. There's a new direction, perhaps that makes you feel uncomfortable, but this could be anything in your life. Just taking some new challenges, kind of, doing things that because naturally a lot of Aquarians are very much like daredevils and risk takers, but I feel like on a deeper level, A lot of you that are Aquarians have struggled with kind of like um, expressing how you feel on a deeper level, and or a lot of you could feel like you are not necessarily the best in opening up and feeling vulnerable. That makes you feel kind of icky. But I am getting this month is a month of, honoring yourself, standing in your truth, and feeling like your self-expression is there. You're able to express yourself wholeheartedly. I feel like there is some charisma issues that you're dealing with. Again, people find you very attractive or beautiful in many ways, and you're kind of elusive to them, especially if you are in a relationship. And even though people, respect and have boundaries, they feel like maybe on some level that this is kind of like a turnoff, or it kind of like pulls you away from or disconnects you in some way from them, especially people that are single, etc., or people that, feel like maybe whoever you're in a relationship with or a friendship with, maybe you're more dedicated to them and not as dedicated to your friends. That's kind of like what I'm trying to say and verbalize. It's almost like you can't see it yourself, and you are in a relationship or a situationship that has you kind of feeling almost like you are kind of trapped, and you're kind of afraid to get out of that because you don't know how this person's going to react that you're with, or you're afraid that if you do, you're going to kind of uncover some things that that you won't be able to repair, that's irreparable in your life. And so a lot of you are feeling like mentally you're feeling almost like you need to have some change. You need to do things. You are maybe intrigued on, again, taking a risk, a financial risk, or doing something with someone else that's different than what you normally would have done. But there is some opposition from other people, almost like someone is very jealous of you or doesn't want you to like grow and prosper in many ways. And so a lot of you are going to be more devoted to honoring yourself and doing those things, even if somebody else doesn't like it. And the thing here is that, again, your magnetism is so highlighted through the month of March that people will be gravitating towards you and finding all of the Aquarians out there so sexy, or finding them very magnetic, attractive. But the issue here is that, again, in your relationship, if you are in a relationship, your partner can feel kind of like they're not being given that same attention, or they're competing for your attention. And you also could feel very vulnerable and disconnected and want attention from other people that are not your partner or a friend. And so, again, you're just going to have to navigate this month very carefully, but I feel like there is growth. There's potential for something to blossom in your financial career, your business. If you're an entrepreneur, or if you're just working for someone, there is some growth and development there where you could actually excel or get promoted eventually. People are seeing you in a different kind of light. If your business has been kind of slow and you own a business, things could be picking up through the month of March. Again, it's going to kind of bring you to be a little bit more human, connected to your human side, your human nature, because a lot of you Aquarians kind of are at the 4D, 5D state of consciousness, very awakened people. But sometimes when you're very awakened and you're vibrating on the fifth dimension, people think that we're lunatics looking from the outside. They think that maybe you are kind of like, well, there's a few screws loose, but we're not. And I'm not an Aquarian, but I'm just talking in general, because I am a starseed. But that's the horoscope for the month of March for my Aquarians out there. Pisces, if you're a Pisces out there for the month of March, my Pisces, this month is going to be a month where you're going to be very strong, standing in your power. You're going to be very expressive. A lot of you are very much about planning, things in the future. You could already be planning a wedding, an engagement party. A lot of you could be planning, your child's first day in kindergarten in the fall, or, and the in the new school year that's coming. There's a lot of planning done in March, and said done in March. And I get changes are coming, things that may not go necessarily your way, and there could be a lot of attention that you're receiving that's not very positive, and it has you stressed out and feeling vulnerable. So a lot of you could be kind of turning to your partner to be consoled or to find some peace. And if you don't have a partner, you could be turning to a friend or a family member, someone who is older or wiser from you than you, and that has lived, life, and has experienced those kind of things that you're going through, and they can give you that advice. I also feel like a lot of you could be dealing with like daydreams or aspirations and goals, and they feel so far away for you, but at the same time they're still coming up in your thoughts periodically and constantly, and it feels like throughout the month of March it's sprinkled everywhere. It could be every other day or every day you're just fixated on a goal, and it can become kind of become excessive in some way. Control that, because again, you are kind of like, I feel like a lot of you are kind of operating out of your past, and those kind of past trust issues that you've had in your life, or worries or concerns, can overshadow your progression, and blind you from seeing how far you've come as of right now and how far you're going. There is a lot of peace that is surrounding you later in the month. I feel like if you are in a relationship, your partner is going to, be very protective of you. There could be some romantic dates, some vacationing off to a tropic island, etc. There's just a lot of plans that you're not going to necessarily cancel or postpone, but you may have to maybe do something a little bit different in case something gets canceled at the last minute or something doesn't go the way. And don't feel like this is a personal thing that the universe is conspiring against you, because it's not. You're not going through like a self-sabotage period. I just feel like there may be some things outside of your control, that maybe destiny has certain delays on certain things in your life, certain aspects. So just go with the flow this month if you're a Pisces, and also be strong, and stand in your power and speak from your truth. So that's the horoscope for the sign of Pisces. I want to thank everyone again for tuning in. Listen to the very first part of my intro if you did not listen to it, because again, I am giving you some special information about an event that I am hosting. If you haven't followed me on Facebook or Instagram, it's at Psychic Medium Ray. Follow me. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed by hitting that red subscribe button. And yes, I do private readings for everyday people, not just celebrities. You can go to my website. It's listed here on the screen, and it's listed in the description box below. It's www.raymondguzman.net/shop. Don't forget to also subscribe to my Patreon, because I'm teaching psychic and mediumship courses and personal development, spiritual personal development there. So blessings and love and light. Have an amazing day or night wherever you are in the world, and have an amazing month of March.